This is Coffee with God, and I am Father Jose. Let us begin this day with the Word of God and a short reflection.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew, chapter 10, verses 37 to 42. The passage is taken from the Message version of the Bible. Don't think I have come to make life cozy. I have come to cut. Make a sharp knife cut between son and father, daughter and mother, bride and mother-in-law. Cut through these cozy domestic arrangements and free you for God. Well-meaning family members can be your worst enemies. If you prefer father or mother over me, you don't deserve me. If you prefer son or daughter over me, you don't deserve me. If you don't go all the way with me, through thick and thin, you don't deserve me. If your first concern is to look after yourself, you will never find yourself. But if you forgot about yourself and look to me, you will find both yourself and me. We are intimately linked in this harvest work. Anyone who accepts what you do accepts me, the one who sent you. Anyone who accepts what I do accepts my Father who sent me. Accepting a messenger of God is as good as being God's messenger. Accepting someone's help is as good as giving someone help. This is a large work I have called you into, but don't be overwhelmed by it. It's best to start small. Give a cool cup of water to someone who is thirsty. For instance, the smallest act of giving or receiving makes you a true apprentice. You won't lose out on a thing. The Gospel of the Lord.
Reflections on the Holy Gospel according to St. Matthew, chapter 10, verses 37 to 42. Being a Christian is always a challenging task. Our faith would force us to give up our selfishness so that it might be a battle within. The desires for wealth, power, and pleasure are incompatible with faith in God. We also have to fight against situations and people who try to dissuade us from our faith. We may be unable to practice faith at our workplaces or work schedules, or we may be prohibited from practicing faith by society or those in authority. The Gospel develops themes related to the sending of disciples to a mission, and Jesus warns us about this conflict. A disciple may experience rejection or misunderstanding as a result of their faith in Jesus, even within their families or in their closest environment. Many families today refuse to discuss faith matters to maintain harmony at home. Although we seldom realize it, this lack of faith in God has become one of the main reasons for the unhappiness and conflict in modern families. The demands of discipleship are presented in all their harshness. Matthew wrote his gospel at a time of persecution. To remain faithful to Christ, the disciples often had to break ties with those who mattered most, their parents, spouses, and children. Because the rabbis had made the decision to expel those who adhered to the Christian faith from their synagogues, be considered heretical, and be disowned by their families. It is intended to encourage the persecuted Christians by reminding them of Jesus' words in the gospel. Jesus demands from the disciples the courage to remain without support, protection, and material security for the sake of his gospel. Jesus' message is neither light nor abstract. It cuts right into our family lives. How many youngsters today care the least about their faith in God while choosing their life partners? How many Catholic parents take their kids to swimming lessons or music classes on Sundays and ignore their life in faith and their responsibility to bring up their kids in faith? And how many Catholic couples consider it normal to terminate a pregnancy when a child is inconvenient? A remarkable promise is made to those who welcome preachers of the gospel in the second part of the passage today. Whoever welcomes you welcomes me, and whoever welcomes me welcomes him who sent me. Not everyone has received the same qualities and gifts from God. In different ways, but with the same generosity, every true believer is called to support those who dedicate themselves to the proclamation of the gospel.